Hey guys, I'm having a play with another color palette here, and I thought I'll just turn the camera on, see where it goes. Might use it, might not use it. But I do have my texture plates, and that's what you'll see me reaching for here. I'm going to try that with the alcohol ink on the gel plate, which I think is just so exciting. I do have another one here that I started, texture plate, and I actually just used a recycled piece of cardboard on that one. And I have this one that I use Nuvo Mousse. I usually use the stabilizing cardboard to make texture plates that come with the stencils I use from PM Artist Studio. But, you know, when I run out, I use cereal boxes or whatever I can get my hands on. That's just a new one. So I cut out the little stencil-y bits here, and I'm just going to have a play. Let's see what I can do. And I do have a plastic doily because I want to add a little, you know, extra other texture in as well. So we'll see how it goes. Got some music playing. A commercial might come on. I'm not sure. Music helps me. I don't know about you. Sometimes I like to have a video on, but I get so enthralled in the process going on in front of me that I have a hard time focusing on doing my own thing. I mean, I do it sometimes. I, you know, try to multitask, and sometimes it's really hard. So today I have music on, and I'm just gonna play here. I'm gonna use some natural colors, and then maybe some turquoise. So like my favorite colors, pretty much. Rust, metallic, patina. All right, I'm going for it. Got mushroom, ginger, espresso, sunshine yellow. Love the butterscotch and the Dijon. Might not use them all, but these are this is the palette I'm pulling out right now. Let's see. We want patina. Maybe a little pool as a highlight, sort of. Moss, another very favorite color. And maybe I'll try some oregano. I haven't played with that much. Of course, I have white. And I want either the cranberry, or the currant, I mean, or the sienna. So that might be another highlight. So that's my palette, I think. Pretty sure. All right, I'm going for it. So I got my super secret sauce. If you saw my live last night, I explained it a few times as people were coming in. It is a mix of a high alcohol content hand sanitizer and a high alcohol content alcohol. So this comes in a 2-pack on Amazon with the sprayer on it already, and it's handy. And I can't find the other one, so I'm going to have to order more. Who knows where it is. I think I put it under the kitchen sink, but I can't find it. So, okay. We'll just get more. That's fine. And I will use a whole bottle of this, I've discovered, for one session, really. So I had to fill it up again last night because I went for another play. So you want your alcohol mix, your secret sauce mix, to be about 80% alcohol when you add those two numbers together. I conditioned my plate with vitamin E oil because I was out of mineral oil, and it seemed to really work. So when I'm done here, I will make sure to do that again so that it has good moisture from the alcohol that I put on it that might dry it out. Make sure it's like sticky to the touch. So I did put on these bits and gave them a trim. I just kind of want to play with that shape a little bit, and I'm going to go for it. So I want, because butterfly wings are yellow, I'm going to see how this goes. Put a little color on there. The reason why this works is because it's not straight alcohol, which would just dissolve right away. It is, where's my blower? Where is my blower? Gotta have that. There it is. But then it gives you some time to work with it because it's, you know, the gel. So I'm just gonna kind of move that around a little bit. And as I add each color, it's gonna disturb what I have on there already in a nice way, I hope. So let's add, well, no, let's go with the sienna. Just kind of going in the butterfly shape right now. I know it looks like a lot of alcohol ink, but this is going to keep giving. I will get a whole set of stuff out of this. Plus, I'll get to use this again and all the alcohol ink that gets on there. So it's really not wasteful. Oh, this needs shaken. This is the Pixis Gold, and it works just like the gold ore. I also have the Pixis White, which is snow, and it's just lovely. Let's get that on there. So this will separate out like gold flakes. It's really nice. You're supposed to be able to leave these open, but I have a tendency to just close them back up because I'm a frugal person. And I also don't like things drying out, but apparently you can leave them open. Let's throw that off there. Into, look at that gold doing magic stuff. Okay, now I want to add, let's go with a little white in there and hope it doesn't turn pink. I'm okay with a little peach, but or maybe I'll save the white for the outer edges. How about that moss? So I'm not going to get mud generally because as you put each drop on, it'll move away what's there underneath. So they'll kind of separate out. If you add blending solution, they will blend together. But I don't really use blending solution. I use my secret sauce and yeah, go from there. I just discovered that I love this technique and I can't wait to try all the different ways to use it on the gel plate. I have texture plates out today and then these, you know, have a play, see what works, see what doesn't, some stamping maybe, or, you know, there's lots of ways to do this. You know, so maybe now I want to take this and get that in there. And because that's really thick, I'm going to grab a piece of tissue paper here. It's actually rice paper. And I'm going to try to pull some of that out. Just get a little bit out. I could let it dry, and I'd probably end up with that texture a little bit, but who has time for that? Plus, I'll end up with some good sort of rusty, yummy stuff here that I can keep building on. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to take this right here. I'm going to flop it off on there and see if I can't get that to release some of that. And if it won't, then I just spray it with alcohol and flop it on there. And it still could do that another 20 times. I mean, there's still more on there. You can get all that off with alcohol sprays. As a matter of fact, let's do it and not disturb our pretty thing going on here. So if you watched the live last night, you saw how everything kind of, when you're just using the ink on the plate, which I recommend everybody should do, have a play, see what works for you. But, you know, like how it responds when you spray it with the secret sauce. It makes little cells all over it. It's pretty spectacular. There's just, there are so many techniques to use with these products. I can't do them all in one video. So I'm going to, you know, just concentrate on one at a time, one or two. Look at that. I mean, yeah. Good collage fodder. See all those little marks on there? I don't want to lose those. So what I'm going to do next is just work on these outside areas. So that's where I'm going to bring in my pops of color. First of all, I need to have some of this in a squeezy bottle so I don't disturb that by spraying it. So I'm going to take this, which just has alcohol in it, and I'm going to add this so I get that super secret sauce mix, but with a different nozzle on it. And I think the alcohol I had in there was pretty low because it was the fresh stuff I bought when it was hard to find. I'm going to shake that up. I'm going to add a little bit of that in, just so I have some blooming happening and have some time to play with it. This is where I want the patina, and then I'm going to add white, and it's going to be magical. Now, I haven't tried this with the skeletons yet, so pretty excited about it. No. I mean, a little bleed over is fine. You know what I will do right now, though? I'm going to get a brush. I'm going to get a brush and kind of work that out. So it's a little bit here and there. Alcohol ink will beat up on your plate. And you're still going to have some of that, but when you add this mix, it does something... It sticks to it better. It's like adding dish soap when you use watercolor paints. And this may work, it may not. This is my first time doing it. I just thought it would be nice to have the camera on to share with you. So that's a lot. I don't want all of that on there, so I'm going to just lightly touch it. Oh my gosh, lightly. And I'm going to lightly touch it on this side. Boy, it's moving around too. So once you put it on paper, you can use any kind of paper you want this way too. You can't do that with alcohol ink normally. You're pretty limited about, you know, what you can use. So once you add it, you have only until it dries to adjust anything on the paper, to blow it around or spritz it with more of the secret sauce to make dots or whatever it is you're going to do. So get it while it's wet, but most of it I'm doing on the plate, and I'm not expecting to have a lot of movement when I get it on the paper. That's not my goal. It's just that's super wet, so I thought, why not move it? You know, nice collage fodder. I really like the way this is pooled up right here, and I want to grab it. So maybe what I'll do is just grab a little bit of it. It shouldn't grab my butterflies because they're dry, and it needs a, see, that would be a start to the next print. It really needs something to activate it so that it picks up, you know? So I'm not worried about the butterflies coming off on here unless they're wet. So I am going to pull this off. See what we got. Well, I touched that. I shouldn't have touched that. That's okay. I can do this. I've never used a brush with alcohol ink. I know you're supposed to use like a sponge or something. But, you know. It's what I grabbed. It's all an experiment, isn't it? I do always say, if we don't experiment and play, how do we find new art? And, you know, I hope it doesn't hurt my brush, but if it does, I'll survive. I can probably clean it in alcohol solution. This is going to keep on giving, not a waste at all. So I'm going to set that to the side. So maybe what I'll do is pick this up with this when I do it. So I want to make sure that I have the right... I think it was that way. Nope. It was that way. So just takes a moment to dry. You don't have to have all your patience with this at all. There's really no setting a plate off to the side unless you want it to soak all the way through the paper. Or if you pull it with paint, you can pull it just like it is with... when you don't have a design on here, you don't want to lose that. But what I'm going to do right now is try it with the clear gesso. You can use white paint if you want to lock that in place and pick it up after it completely dries, because you don't want it to, you know, tint your stuff. But these acrylic mediums shouldn't mess with that because it's solvent. What I want here is some rusty looking butterflies. I'm just having a play, just an experiment. Put that right there. My dirty palette knife. So this is Clear Gesso by Finnabair. Is this what I want to use for this? I hope I have enough. So I don't want to work it a whole bunch. I just want to get it on there as quickly as I can. I need more. In as few passes as possible. Because, you know, if you work it and work it and work it, you're going to get some color up. Something that might not be dry all the way, or, you know, it's going to pull. I'm supposed to be fixing that commercial, but I don't have time. I'm going to roll that off and turn it upside down. Okay, so we're going this way with it, right? Yeah. So I'm going to put that on there. And it's a little bit this way. If it's too wet, it's going to do that, and you're going to get smears. And I don't want smears. So this might be one of those times where I set it off to the side and grab a different plate for just a moment until it sucks all that up and activates. That looks like a bird. Birds come to me all the time. Just accidentally. I love little gifts like that from the universe. Come on. Not yet. Might end up being 2 pulls. Come on. Still wet. But only because of the clear gesso. Oh, this is riveting, isn't it? It's okay. I love the gold. I love what's happened there. I think now we'll just go straight texture plate, because this is something that I will probably mess with some more. Really, it was a kitty hair. And it'll probably get some sprays, but I want to set it off to the side because it's pretty wet. All right, and I'm not going to clean that plate. I like that. I like going with that. Let's get some color on. I'll do a texture plate, and we'll have some fun. Practice, practice, practice. That's right. Got my gel on there. Going with my moss, which I love, love, love. I'm just not a pink fan, and I don't ever want to add the red and then add white on top of it. But I do like adding white to everything else. So I will pick and choose how I use that sienna. I know it doesn't look like much now, but this is gonna make magic. So if I spray this now, I'm just keeping it wet, and I want to blow it around. So it's gonna make little dots, and I love them. If I left it, you know, and didn't do this. Don't make pink, no pink. And it doesn't matter if it dries because you have this if you like grungy art, or, you know, like the magical, you know, like looking at clouds and you can look at it forever and see new things, and, you know, that sort of abstract artwork, this is so fun. Okay, I'm going to shake this. I'm going to let this move around a little. So to print on, I have my flashcards that I just shared a link in the Makers of Mixed Media Art and Artists group with friends over at PM Artist Studio. If you're not a member, I recommend joining, and they're stencils that I usually use. If you're new to my channel, I am live twice a month, the first and third Saturday. This is the ginger. I want some little dots. So with these, I actually have a project in mind for the tags that I'm printing. And then with the papers, I either use them for collage, or I want to use this, I think. I either use them for collage if they're thin, or I use them for making journals, or, you know, scraps, or I shared in the live last night the kind of things that these are bonuses too, by the way, because then you can cut these up when you're done with them and use them on things. Let's see if we got, it might have been too wet to leave an impression. Nope, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. Now remember, your impression plate's going to want to go last, and that's only because, where's my paper? There it is. That's only because you're going to lose your design if you expect to see any of it. I mean, you might not expect to. You might just want it to move the color around. But you're going to lose it if you keep adding any solvent or alcohol, or, you know, the juicy mix. I didn't see the design there. But, you know, we're getting there, and it's all practice. I haven't done this yet. Not with a texture plate, at least. And I'll print on that again. So let's do, I want to stay in the same color family because I have a plan. Make it good and juicy. And I want to use some of this espresso. It's pretty new to me. Putting my darker colors on first. I did find that is easier, so you don't end up with too much dark. I'm kind of doing a thing here. And I do that a lot, actually. Goodness, no commercials. What am I doing? I can't ignore that. How about some classical music while we play today? Or some Celtic music. We like that. I like stuff without words because then I don't sing along. That's hard. Alright, let's see here. I mean, that sounds nice, but music. All right, let's see if that's too crazy. So you have time, but you don't have time, depending on what you're doing. Alcohol ink dries pretty fast. If you're going to keep adding, that's fine, but you do need to use something on it. Look at how, gorgeous. I think we need to go back to the moss. Love the way the moss looks with the white. Make sure it's movable here. Make sure you're in a ventilated area, and also have a plan for sealing them afterwards, and I'll have some pictures to share about the things that I've used so far and how it's working. I mean, I can't guess what it's going to look like in 10 years, but this is that beautiful ginger. And I think it's time for gold. Why do I keep taking the lids, or putting the lids back on? Darn it. Darn it, darn it. Oh, that's a shame. Here. That's okay. Look at that. I love how all those little cells are created. No mud. I haven't had mud yet, so once it gets printed, I mean, and this looks like a lot of alcohol ink, but it'll make many, many. You'll see what I mean. So get that to move. That's a beautiful color in there. I'm gonna add a little more white. And I want to get some little dots on here. I love the way it moves. It makes me happy. Maybe some more gold here. I also love the loss of control. That also makes me happy. I'm going to give this one more spray, and then we're going to come in with a stencil. No, we're going to do a texture plate again. I have this, and we'll see if any of it shows up because it's pretty juicy. I'm just so excited about this whole technique. I want to try it all, you know, but you know what? I'm just going to go straight to the tags, I think. Could lay a stencil over it and pick up some of that color with some tissue, but I really like what's happening here. These cards have a smooth side and a glossier side. And it's not glossy, but it's going to give you less absorption on that side, probably. So quickly. And so I'm using the side that's a little more absorbent. So quickly. And if it's really juicy, that's what's going to happen. But these dry a lot different. It won't quite look like that. Quickly. I want some of that. So it's drying fast right now. And now I'm going to do this again. You know, with this one that's still wet, I want to show you what happens if you spray it. You get all those little dots, and I love them. Just like if you spray your plate again, you get all that, all those little dots. You know what? Now I think I'm gonna not do what I said I was going to do, and I'm going to go to a stencil and show and get some nice tissue collage paper. Let's see here, because I want to get inside all of these little spots if it's wet enough. And because that side isn't as wet, I'm going to just pull it up, not take it off, and try to do it this way. Oh yeah, okay. I'm going do the same thing over here. The stencil is going to release some more color that I used last night too, I think, because I was cleaning them, but there's always a little bit left behind, and I like that. You can kind of see what's going on here. We're getting some of that design in there, and let's see if it showed up here. So if it's dry and your design shows and you like the way it looks, lock it in after, I mean, let it continue to dry and then use something clear on it to pull it, or use some white paint. I'm just looking for a clean space here. I need a clean space. I have so much stuff here. This is really wet, but I'm probably going to spray it one more time, and then I'm going to lay it down on here and see what I can get. You can also spray your paper. Do you clean your stencils? I want to know. I don't. Not until they get really bad. Or, you know, maybe if I wanted something that was specifically those colors and I'm trying to do a crisp, clean pull. But mostly no, not me. Some of these are going to be cut up and turned into ATC style treasures. I have a plan. And then I'll doodle on them, and they'll get some focal points, and I'll choose the perfect moments, and I won't cover those areas, and I'll, you know, to highlight them. Oh, you know what? Let's use this right now. Look how beautiful this has turned out. Just a little cleanup there. I need to take all of these away and put them off to the side. Oh, look at that. Do you see it? That? And the gold. Oh, it's so pretty. Like I said, they'll surprise you when they dry. That one's not my favorite. I do really like what's happening right there. I mean, with all pulls, you'll get favorites and not favorites. That does look like butterfly wings, and it's, I mean, not. It's random. It's beautiful. So I'm going to leave this one so I can still do something to it if I want. The other two I'm going to set aside. And this, I'm going to do something with right now. I'm just making room here. So I want to, let's see. Let's get the paper wet this time and see if we can get this to release. Because remember, it's soaked into the paper, what's already on there, so it shouldn't move, technically. That only works if it's wet. These are really fun to die cut because, you know, you have all those super special moments that happen, and you can really highlight them in a die cut or emboss them. So that released a bunch of that. It never has to go to waste. And look what even happens, say, if I cut that out and put the stencil on it that matches it. Or another stencil over it. That one doesn't match it. I can't find it right now. I mean, they're all right here, but it's stuck to this. It's just fun, I think. Well, I can't find it right now, so it's probably stuck to the bottom of the paper. I don't look at it as an entire composition when I'm doing stuff like this. I look at all the little moments in there and the things that I can do with it are already running through my head. And I think that makes them really special. All right, so what else do we want to do to this one? We could take my favorite stamp here, my current favorite stamp. I've got two of them really, but and I could put some ink on here. I don't want to reactivate it. I just want to, that's why I'm doing it this way. I am an uneven person. I do not do centers at all. And if I do, it's probably for something specific. But I like to go diagonal. I like things in threes. I only use the arty side of my brain, you know. No math here. Let's see. I think that's good. I think I like it. Should we see what it looks like if we pull it? I could probably put paint on it at this point, like if I wanted to go in with colors of acrylic on a stencil or something, but I'm not mixing that together right now. The only paint that I'll use would be to pull it, and that would be paint, excuse me, like, you know, or clear gesso. Or gesso. You can use gesso too. I think we'll use this time. See what we come up with here. It always looks a little different on a plate than it does when you pull it. My hands are so stained up from playing with alcohol ink last night. So my husband, he builds and flies drones. All different kinds of drones. Started with drones when we were hiking, like a big drone, because we were always like, what's over there? You know, and we wanted to see. And now he does mountain surfing. So he wears goggles, and it's like a FPV sort of, like, it's like he's on it. It's like that scene in Star Wars where they're going through the forest on those, those scooter things that flew. I don't know what they are. I'm sure there's a name for them. For all you Star Wars junkies out there. But anyway, it's like that. It's like actually being on it. And he went to a mountain today to go mountain surfing, which is really cool. You know, I could probably use a texture plate at this point and leave something behind if I used color. But I didn't use color. Or I could, you know, print it on black. But I don't have any black cut up right now. So, we not use any black. Alright. So I'm probably going to need to leave this for just a moment. Because, you know, wet paint. I haven't had enough coffee today. I don't know what I'm doing up here already getting messy. I should have had a disclaimer at the beginning. You know, no rules, just play. Because I really thought I would be using the texture plates. But here I am still figuring out the ins and outs and playing like this. But I don't want to limit myself for sure. Oh. Okay. Look at that rusty yummy yums. You can see the gold went around all the edges of that impression that I made and just settled there. So there's a fleur-de-lis there and there. and it's all outlined in gold. It's beautiful. There'll be pictures on my Facebook page and my Instagram. Follow me on Instagram, TextureJunkies. When I post a lot because I go through sessions like this where I've made a lot of things all at once. And then I don't post anything for, 5 days because I'm making, basically. Good and wet. I'm going to do the same colors, but I want to add not the sienna, the currant. I really like this currant. I do have to be careful though. I don't want white with it because it will create pink, and I don't want pink. I'm doing a line again. And I'm going to blow that out. Yesterday, last night in the live, I stuck my arm onto a print that I had just pulled, or onto a stencil. And I didn't know I was walking around with a stencil on my arm, on my forearm right here, until I went to brush my teeth and saw it. It was pretty funny. So now I'm going to add that gold. But I don't want to limit myself to just a stripe. And the espresso. I should just stop talking and play, huh? Just keep changing my mind. It is messy business, though. Oh, that gold is so pretty. Oh, look at that. Yellow. Moss. I have such a hard time leaving white space, but it's easier when I pull these cards because I don't always make contact the whole way, so I end up with some white space doing it that way. I'm a fill every inch sort of girl, usually. I want to make pink. And technically, it should be just pushing it out of the way, but I'm using a lot of alcohol ink because I'm making many pulls with it that'll just keep going. Look at how beautiful that is with the green and the white. It's dark right here still. That cranberry is okay with the white because it makes that sort of magenta maroony color with that white pastel-y undertone, and that's okay. I want the sunshine yellow, I think. It's so dark, you know? I'm gonna just get some little spots of yellow in there. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the white because I'm not really hating that. That's so pretty. Okay, that's a lot of ink, so this is where I stop. And I'm gonna do this time. I want to find a different stencil. This one might give up some paint, we'll see. So, I know it seems wasteful getting it on all the back here, but I can still flop that off onto something, and that's okay. I should have cut some big tissue paper. I'm kind of mad that I didn't here. There we go. Because you really got to get at it with the tissue. Now I can't separate it. I'm going to do this. We're going to try it. Reactivate that. The tissue gets down in all the little grooves to remove that. Now I could use alcohol lift ink. I haven't played with that yet on here. Like I said, I'm just doing kind of going with the flow and learning as I go. And I haven't gotten there yet, but I will. And I wonder, because this is tissue, if I can spray it from upside to get down in there when I miss a spot. We already know we can pull it back and spray. Oh. Okay, so the gold, because it acts like the gold ore, you know, like a gold leaf. It gets in all those designs and settles, so I still have that design. And when this dries, it's really going to show. That was a good experiment. I'm going to move that to the side because I'm going to love that when it dries, and I'll be able to share it with you. Okay, so I'm going to pull this off. Look. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to set this to the side for a minute because I want it to dry before I pull it. But I'm going to play with this right now on full-size pieces because I don't want to lose it. I thought my cat was under the desk. Something fell over. So I'm going to spray this generously. And then I'm going to do this. And see what happens. So that's one. Oh. And then I'm going to spray it again. And I'm just using, you know, alcohol. Cleaning it off here. What a great result for cleaning your stencils, huh? Could probably just do this without a gel plate and just act like the stencil is your gel plate. Look at that. So I'll cut this in half, or I'll fold it in half, and it'll be bound into a book, depending on what style I'm doing. But I don't know if you can see all the, oh, it's so good. This side is meh, but it's going to look different when it dries. There's still some gold on here that I could pull up. Some of that's paint, though. That's paint. So let's let that dry. And I bet this is dry. Or close to, at least. And let's get our super expensive secret special dryer here. I was telling them last night, this is a special tool. It's $49.95. And I'll send you one of these because I was using one of these. It was funny. Okay, just making sure it's dry. My desk is shrinking. It's shrinking. So this time I want to use... Are you yelling at the TV? Or your phone? Telling me what color? Oh gosh. I wish I had some nickel azo gold because I think that would be spectacular to pull this with. So I'm just gonna use white, I guess. I could use a cream. I have this ivory apple barrel, you know, it's just cheap paint. I guess we're using cream. I need a more beigey one that's got like a brown undertone. Just don't want to fuss about here. I just want to get it on there so I can get it pulled. Get all those edges good. And it's not sliding around, which means that it won't take as long to stick to the plate, so, and absorb. If it's sliding around, then it was too wet, and you have to leave it there. Let's see how it looks. Ooh. So when you add the white paint or the gesso in the whites, it ends up reminding me of an Italian stucco or plaster or Venetian wall. Still a little not stuck on there, a little damp. It always leaves a little gold behind, too, for the next, like a gift for the next pull. Are you ready? Can you see it? It's simply marvelous. I'll get some good shots of that. It really does look like gold leaf. It's even standing up right there like a piece of gold leaf. Amazing. Amazing. Those colors. Well, that one's definitely done. That one's definitely done too. And look at all that yummy gold left behind. Let's do this. And let's explore that current with the white. We'll see how much white until I start to despise it. And I'm gonna try the mushroom. And let's add the white in. If I decide that it looks too pink and I don't like it, I can add more of a different color to tone it back. It is getting pinky on me now. Shake it. So red and green make brown, and pink and another green should, although they don't mix together like a paint would, but you do get a little bit of mixing. And let's blow, because that's how they do get mixed together. Yeah, definitely needs more colors. Boy, that's juicy. I clearly need another couple sets of alcohol inks. It's official. It's when you move it around that the gold really does that, its best work, I would say. Where it starts to separate. I took a little video of it doing that last night that I need to post. It's pretty cool. Sure, if you used this on Yupo, you would get pull after pull after pull. But because I'm using it on absorbent papers, it's a little bit different. It does need this. A lot of people make flowers and stuff, and you can really get those on here. And you have more time to play than you would, I think. I don't know. I just, I've only had the Yupo that comes in the pack when you buy the alcohol ink kits. And that was how I started. But I do use alcohol ink on lots of things. And it's never been Yupo. I might even still have that little pack. I might have used one piece. Alcohol inks were scary at first. And I've just learned to use them on all kinds of things. So I just think they're fun. I love how sort of permanent they are and how I can color things that I wouldn't otherwise be able to. I have mentioned, and I think it's a great idea, if you have things that you want to color, say like a really uneven brooch or something that's got a lot of 3D levels on it, this would be a good way to do it, because you can press it into the gel plate and it's going to get, you know, more than drips. You would be able to get more, a different effect from it. And I'm going to have to try that. I will. Randomness, randomness. Look at that. Okay, now I'm going to do something crazy. Oh. I can't stop adding gold. I just can't. I can't do it. I think we're going to do this again with, gosh, because I ended up changing gears here. I didn't have my stencils ready. Oh, let's use this. Let's use this gorgeous stencil. This was a special order, so if you want it, you got to talk to them about it. And I need a big piece of tissue or something that'll, because it's not really tiny pieces. I'm trying to work fast here. Because it's wide open spaces on the stencil, I don't need anything as tissue-y. I should have just kissed that on there quickly. But that gold goes around all the designs there. And I'm gonna grab a tissue still, and I'm gonna spray it and see if I can get another one. I really didn't cut any large tissue paper. It's okay, I have a minute. I'm not panicked. Not yet. Oh, here. These are good ones. So I'm going to spray this. That needs a lot more, but that's really cool. And I love the colors. I need to make room because I'm going to want to flop this off on something. And it's a big stencil. Got this hammer mill, 24 pound. I ordered some better printer paper thinking it might be fun to play with it. So I'm going to spray this so it can pick that up. Should be doing this on an even surface. I'll line it back up. Spray it some more. I feel like I get better results if my camera's not on. If I'm not explaining and I'm just doing it, it's just, I just get more fantastic results, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm saving all that for private time. I am not, I swear. It's all an experiment. It's all play. So these are the dots that I love so much. And while that has a ridiculous, hideous white border around it, that's really fun right there. That would have been good on those tags. I do have some that I pulled like that. Let's see if I can find one. I'm just giving this a minute. Let's see, right there, and then I stamped on it, right there, and then I sealed it because I'm trying different sealers, and I used a black paint pen on it. That one's stamped on. I did these ones last night. Some live, some not. That was live. Look at that. That was live. Anyway, I was just trying to share these, and I will get all these photos up. It's from the gel plate with that stencil. There's another one that I stamped on. With some stays on. Anyway, and that's that. Are we dry? I think so. All right, I think clear gesso. Make sure you have lots of space. As with any gel printing, you need lots of space. I have a cart next to me. It's like an old tea cart. It's a big one. And I have packaging paper all over it so I can lay things out to dry on it if I need to. But it needs cleared off because it's full from last night still. I just couldn't wait to play today. And a bit more. I need to change the felt on this because I also set it on things when I glue them to dry. So I need to flip this around. It's got glue on it and I can hear it. It's driving me crazy. This is one of my favorite tools, by the way. I use it for gluing stuff. It's a weight. So it holds things down, and I use it like this. And all I did was put, it's an antique sanding block, and it's got little grips for your fingers. But this is just some old upholstery felt. I ordered 4 of these online, antique, because I just thought they looked cool. But I didn't realize how wonderfully heavy they would be and how much I would use it, honestly. Use my ink here. All right, let's see what we got here. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's so good. I will share photos of that, and it's going to look a little different after it dries still. This will lighten up a little bit. The gold will stand out more. Wow. Well, that's at least a couple good pulls. I think my camera is probably about to die right now. As with this video and all the others, please give me a thumbs up if you can, and share with your friends. When I get to 400, because I just started over in November, when I get to 400, I'll be doing another double prize giveaway. So leave a comment if you want to be entered, and if you send a friend, make sure that they leave a comment and let me know that you sent them. That's all, and then you'll both be entered. You'll get a double entry for the comment and then the friend. So all of those are good, and I'm growing quickly, but I do need your help. That would be just amazing. I couldn't do this without you, and I love sharing my experiments and things I'm learning or things I already know. I'm here to inspire and encourage, and I hope that you make a mess today and you have a magical day. Thank you. Bye.